Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. It's been a minute. I know every time I film a video I'm always like, it's been so long. Your girl has been very busy. In this video I wanted to bring you guys this very sultry, very extra look. Oh, by the way, if you have not subscribed to my channel, please do already. But yeah, I don't want to make this intro too long. If you just want to learn how to get this look, then just keep on watching. So I'm gonna start off by prepping my face with the Ulla Henriksen toner and using a cotton round. I'm just going over my face to get rid of any oils, any leftover dirt. By the way, my eyebrows are looking rough, but I have an appointment soon, so bear with me please. So this is gonna be a very beat and snatched look. Like, I don't really do my makeup like this, but today I'm kind of in the mood, so that's what we're gonna do. So now I'm just gonna go in with my Pond's moisturizer. So now I'm grabbing my Becca mattifying primer and applying that only to my T-zone. So basically anywhere where I would typically get really oily, which would be the sides of my nose, center of the forehead, and chin. Now that the skin prep is done, I'm gonna be going in with my Huda Beauty foundation. I feel like I was like on a NARS kick for a really long time, but I don't know. Huda's really been doing it for me. Right now, Huda's a little lighter for me because I was in Colombia. But yeah, I was in Colombia a few weeks ago. And usually this foundation is literally my exact match. But that just goes to show that I'm still slightly tanned. So now I'm going to be going in with my Born This Way concealer by Too Faced in the shade Mocha. I don't know why, like I can never draw like a straight line when I'm trying to do like my nose contour. It's weird because I have like the most unsteady hands, and I actually have like the most horrible handwriting of all time. And it's funny because at first I was like, you know what, it's not that bad. But no, I came to the conclusion that it absolutely is. I don't know if it's because I'm left-handed. I just don't know. But you would think that like I know how to do makeup, that I could have like decent handwriting, and I'm pretty okay at drawing. But like, no, I'm not. When I used to work at my old job, like everyone used to make fun of me. So now I'm just going to be grabbing this concealer from NARS. And this is the shade Dark Coffee. Dark Coffee. And I got this brush actually in my BoxyCharm, and I never cream contour, but you know what, today I figure why not. Just very subtly though, nothing crazy. And this particular shade is a bit cooler, but that's actually what I want because I want it to look more like a shadow, not add so much warmth to my face. I feel like I can do that with bronzer, so this is more for like the shadow effect, and then like I'll go over it after. And the reason why I apply my concealer first and then go in with my contour to blend it and it just sits there is because I like for it to kind of like dry down a little bit. I feel that the color payoff is more intense and it just blends a little bit better in the end. I feel like when it's still kind of wet, it moves a lot, and I also, like I said, I feel the color payoff is not as strong. Now I'm just going in with another sponge, completely clean, and I'm just gonna blend that concealer. I don't like using the microfiber sponge that I used previously to blend the concealer because I just feel that it's a bit textured, and for me, like, I don't know, I prefer like a regular makeup sponge. Whatever texture this is made out of, I just prefer that. So you see this is like really bright up in here. I kind of take like the butt of the sponge and just kind of like go over it. I feel that if you brighten this area all the way through, it just makes your face look wider. And if you have a smaller face, like great. If you really want to like snatch and lift your eyes, awesome. But I don't really want to do that, so I'm just gonna opt out of that. And I bring my concealer really close to the sides of my nose because I just feel that it's gonna really snatch my nose and it's kind of like gonna contour itself. And when I blend, I make sure that my blending isn't wide. I like to keep everything very centered because I'm not trying to emphasize or bring forth other parts of my face that I'm not trying to. And you know what? I think I'm just gonna add a little nose contour, like very subtle. I love nose contour, but there's like a fine line where like you can go overboard or you can kind of like do too little. I usually try to do too little because a bad nose contouring job girl. So I'm using this brush, and this brush is the 71 brush from Sephora collection, and I love it because it's angled but flat at the same time. They also have it in a really large size, which I believe is like the 47. I love Sephora collection brushes, but I'm just saying, like, they're really expensive. Like, I get a Sephora, you fire or whatever, but like, girl, bájale pal por favor. So I'm contouring under my nose to like kind of like bring it upward. And I always like to apply my darker shades before I go in with the lighter shades, because I feel you can always use the lighter shades to overlap, which in turn makes everything look more natural, if that makes sense. So now I'm just gonna go in with the sponge. I kind of like to keep my tools separate. So like what I use for contouring, I don't like to mix it with what I use for highlighting. I just feel that colors blend much better together. Yo, but this nose contour though, dime, wow, this looks actually so fire. And that shade was perfect. Because it's a cooler tone, I feel that it looks more like a shadow. It's not warm. So when you're contouring your nose, always make sure to go with like a cooler shade. What nose job when you have contour? And because we're going to be really extra with this look, I'm going in with another concealer, a bit lighter. And this is just to brighten. I really, really, really love, oh my goodness, the KKW concealers. I feel that they're very pigmented, like extremely. It's a very thin formula, which is great. I personally don't use it as so much as a concealer. I use it more to brighten, but it's actually really, really, really bomb. So shout out to you, Kim. If you want to send some KKW over, girl, I'm mad. I won't be upset at all. I like low-key wanted to hate on Kim and be like, her products are actually all right, but you know what? Like, maybe her first product that she came out with wasn't like the best, but her products that she's launched since then, they actually are pretty good, and I'm very, very impressed with her brand. So as you can see, I really applied that concealer like in really strategic places, because I'm not trying to brighten that entire area. I'm really just trying to brighten exactly where I placed it. And these are areas that typically look more sunken. So by applying the concealer there, it's gonna make everything look much, much brighter. You see right there, it looks unblended. I'm just gonna go with the butt of the sponge and blend that again, and go over any areas where I feel like they look a little bit too bright. And whatever's left over, I'm just grabbing the sponge and going over my nose just to like brighten that as well, but not adding any more product, because I feel that when you do, like I said, the nose can look very cakey very, very easily, and I feel that's a dead giveaway when you have too much product on your face. Look at me doing this whole tutorial sounding all professional, girl. Yes. So now I'm just gonna re-deepen the areas that I contoured. I actually really like this brush. I know it's from BH Cosmetics. It's called the Luxie 5112, and it's their small contouring brush. Actually really fire. Fire, fire. So now I feel that the face is really nice and blended. And sometimes with whatever is left over of the sponge, I'll kind of go underneath my contour just to like diffuse everything and also brighten that area so that the cheek looks a bit more snatched. So now I'm just grabbing my Huda Beauty powder in the shade Kunafa. It's very nice and yellow, amarillo, under the eyes, and I love this shade because I feel that it really suits my skin tone. And this powder is so thin, which we like. We like formulas of anything that are thin because they apply so much better on the skin. And I feel also that this powder like blurs, especially when used with like a kind of like a damp beauty sponge, makes your under eyes look so smooth and so flawless. The key is to like really push it in. Push it, push it, push it, push it, push it, push it. Go get the money, go get the money. Go get the money, go get the money. Go get the money. So I'm really trying to snatch my nose, and I'm applying the powder as such. A little bit on the chin, not too much, and a dusting on the forehead of whatever's left over, because I also feel that your forehead is also a giveaway if you have too much product. So now that the under eyes are set, I'm going to be setting the rest of my face with my Sephora Micro Smooth powder in the shade Deep. And I truly live for this powder. It's so good. And I'm just using like a really large fluffy brush and just like powdering all the areas that I didn't highlight. So this kind of like sets the contour before you go in with your bronzer. So I'm gonna be going in with my bronzer from Fenty Beauty, and this one is called Coco Naughty, and I'm just kind of like stamping that on the cheek, not so much like dragging it. And sometimes I kind of like to overlap where I highlighted just so that there's like no line of demarcation. My nose stay trying to play me whenever I do my makeup. So now that that's done, I'm gonna move on to eyebrows, and I'll be right back. So now that my eyebrows are on, I mean, eyebrows make such a difference. And I'm gonna move on to the eyes. And I applied a bit of concealer on my eyes already, but I'm just gonna be grabbing a bit of my face powder, and I'm just gonna like dab a little bit of that onto this e.l.f. brush, and just gonna set my brow bone. Kind of gonna leave the lid alone because I still want it to be a bit sticky. Since this look is gonna be matte, I don't want to like completely mattify the entire eye. For instance, if this look would have been like a shimmer look, maybe, but just a brow bone. And this is gonna give a smoother base for the eyeshadows to blend like a little bit better. So I'm also gonna dust away the bake of the nose because I feel that it's doing what it needs to do. She already did her job. She's clocking out. So for today's eye look, I'm gonna be using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. I used to use this palette so much like a year ago, and I don't know what happened. Like, you know, new things. Siri, why are you so disrespectful? Nobody called you. Rude. So I'm going in with burnt orange and my MAC 224 brush, and I'm just gonna apply that all on my upper crease area just to give a really nice diffusion of color. And this look has lots and lots of depth, so blending is very, 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 very crucial. I have like such terrible posture. I need to learn to like sit with my shoulders back. You guys have seen there's like this gadget, I mean, it comes up on Instagram ads, like those sponsored annoying ads that you see, and it's like something that you apparently like put between like your shoulder blades, and it like keeps you, you know, with like shoulders back, chest out. I feel like I need that permanently because like my posture is like disgusting. I feel like when I'm old, I'm gonna be like all hunched over and have all these neck and back issues because my posture was trash. So I just keep adding more of that shade. This shade isn't gonna really like show up that much. This is just kind of like to give that really nice gradient blended effect. So now I'm just gonna go in with Sienna, which is like this brick shade, and I'm just gonna apply that on my upper crease area. And just taking my time to really deepen and intensify that upper crease space. And I kind of like to bring my shades like right to like my brow bone, almost as if I'm connecting it to my nose contour. I just feel like it just adds like this really cool depth to the eyes. Now that that second shade is applied, I'm going to be going in with a darker brown and deepen it even more. And this is a MAC 217 brush, and I'm like really fixating the color more on like the outer part of the crease right now, and then like inch my way forward and blend that inward. And just so that it looks really nice and like diffused, like it almost like blends into each other as opposed to seeing any harsh lines. And I may go back and forth between that sienna shade just so that it kind of fades from like the lightness and eventually it gets darker. So I'm grabbing that shade and just kind of like going over it very, very lightly just so that every color is able to show and really do what it's supposed to. So now I'm going to move on to the lid, and I'm going to use a little bit of concealer just to like clean everything. And using my concealer brush, which is very flat, I'm just kind of using it to carve the lid just to make this really nice and sharp so that when I apply the other matte shades, it goes on really nice and smooth. Now I'm not cutting like the entire crease, just like the maybe like inner 2/3. It's crazy because I really have an eye appointment after this. They're probably gonna look at me like, girl, what are you doing with all this makeup? But hey, you gotta do what you gotta do. So now that I partially cut the crease, I'm gonna be grabbing my palette once again, and I'm gonna be mixing these two shades. So I'm just gonna like lightly stamp that shade in inner 1/3 third of the eye because we're gonna be applying a few shades on the lid and it's gonna gradually fade. So now I'm grabbing another shade and this one is called Burnt Orange. I'm just gonna like slightly overlap the first shade just so that it has a really nice like gradient. And using the corner of the brush, I'm just very gently blending those two shades together. So going in with the black shade, actually, I'm gonna add that to the outer corner and like really blend that as well to really intensify. So now I'm just grabbing this like gel liner and this really tiny brush from Morphe. This is the M213 and I'm just gonna run that along my lash line and I'm grabbing like a different brush just to blend that a bit better. So now I'm going to move on to the bottom part of my eyes and using that burnt orange shade, I'm just going to apply that on my lower lash line and kind of like follow the same concept that we did with the crease space. And I'm bringing that a little lower than I typically would because I want this to look very sultry. Now I'm going in with the dark brown shade. It's called Cypress Umber and this is all from the same palette and just running that slightly above that shade. So now going back with the dark brown shade and just blending right below just so that it has like a nice fade. So I'm using this palette from CoverGirl, their full spectrum palette, and this shade right over here, and I'm just gonna apply that to my inner corner. So now I'm just going to be going in with some lashes and I don't know how to pronounce this name. I will make sure to list it somewhere here on the screen. I'm just going to be applying those right now. So now that the eyes are done, I'm just going to be going in with my Power Play mascara by MAC. And I love this mascara because it's teeny tiny. I feel that it really allows you to get the bottom lashes really well. I live for bottom lash mascara. It's actually like one of my favorite things. Tiny amount to my own natural lashes just to blend with the false ones. So now I'm just going to grab my Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Powder in number 2 and applying that under my eyes to really brighten. Now I'm just going to be going in with a little bit of blush and this one is called Love Thing by MAC and just like a touch, not too much. So now I'm going to go in with this lip liner from Iman Cosmetics. This is in the shade Spice. And I'm just gonna line my lips and grabbing this lipstick by Iman Cosmetics. It's called Baby Doll. It's like a nice nude. It's a little pinkier than I thought, but it's fine. And I'm just gonna add a little bit of this lip topper by Jouer called Skinny Dip. So now I'm just gonna spray and set my face with the Morphe spray. One thing I like to do is after I apply my setting spray, kind of like to pat it into my skin. I'll grab my Charlotte Tilbury powder and kind of like go under my eyes one more time just to make sure everything is like super locked. So now I'm just gonna move on to highlighter, and this is the Backstage palette from Dior. My great friend Amanda, she's a fellow makeup artist and she is so talented. If you do not follow her, please do. She put me on to this highlighter and I've been obsessed. It gives the skin like such a beautiful sheen and I love that it has like different shades as well. It has like a more bronze shade, a gold shade, a very like light pearlescent shade, and like a pink one. You could use it almost like a blush topper, which I love to do when I work on bridal clients. So yeah, that concludes this look. I really hope you guys enjoyed. It's a bit excessive, but you know what? We're here for all the extra antics. Let me know what you think about this look in the comments down below. I'd really love to know your feedback. Please feel free to give this video a thumbs up if you have not already. And if you have not subscribed to my channel, like what are you waiting for? Once again, thank you so much for watching and I'll see you guys on my next video. So now I'm gonna be going, so now I'm gonna be, bleh, why can I speak English? Bitch, why ain't you focusing? Say it, don't spray it.